All right, welcome to the Carl Jackson Show. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Guys, I want to speak to you specifically about the Hurricane Helene response by the Biden-Harris administration. It's been a complete and utter disaster. It required Elon Musk bringing in his equipment from Starlink in order to get communications going. He communicated with both Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump. Donald Trump gave a shout out to him, basically, and Starlink and their equipment, or Elon Musk's equipment from Starlink, was there. I think Trump said within 45 minutes, and then within 24 hours, communications were flowing much better in some of the areas impacted. I believe this was in the Asheville, North Carolina area. Let me frame it this way. Let me start here. I was literally going back and forth. I just got to be honest with you guys, right? And it's not like I'm dishonest with you, but I was going back and forth with my producer Gabe here, and I'm struggling with the response of the Biden-Harris administration on this particular issue, or with this particular issue. So I've got to just ask questions, maybe pose them to you, and think through them myself, if I'm being honest. I'm looking at the devastation. I'm looking at the response. I look at the fact that the areas impacted by this storm that are decimated. They are decimated. We'll show some video to you a little later. They are decimated. The vast majority of people in those areas and in the states affected vote Republican. I can't help but to wonder if there's something nefarious going on. Obviously, Biden and Harris aren't God. They didn't bring a storm. They didn't know how bad it was going to be. But the response is so disastrous, I have to question, is this nefarious or is this incompetence? And the more I read, the more confused I am. I'm just being honest, because there's some conservatives out there that are like, this is just nefarious. This is corrupt. There's some out there that are saying this is incompetent. This is me saying, something doesn't smell right, but I don't know. But I can't help but to start shifting towards something is happening here that isn't right. $1 billion. Listen to this. $1 billion of your hard-earned money that was allocated to FEMA for disaster relief has been used to ship illegal aliens all over this freaking country and pay for their benefits. I don't blame illegal aliens for coming here when Kamala Harris and Joe Biden says the doors are wide open to the greatest country that God has ever built. But what I do blame Biden and Harris for is taking money from American citizens to give the money to people who do not deserve it and give them benefits that they're not giving our own citizens. $750. I don't even think we got that clip, Gabe. $750 Kamala Harris offered to the victims of Hurricane Helene. It's part of me, if I'm just being honest, I'm asking this question. Is this revenge? Is this revenge for Hurricane Katrina? Carl, you're conspiracy. No, I'm just asking. Carl, people can't be this evil. They can't? Really? When you're godless, you can't? You're talking about people that are willing to murder innocent babies. What about people that they consider, racist and xenophobic, colonialists? $1 billion of your hard-earned money given to illegal aliens so that they can live high on the hog inside of the United States after they broke into the country. But you get offered $750 when you're in a disaster area. And the videos that are coming in, people are saying the videos aren't doing it justice. I heard one gentleman say, this is apocalyptic. Apocalyptic. Is this revenge? I'm starting to wonder. Is the response of screw you to white Americans in the Appalachian areas from the Biden-Harris administration? Is it just incompetence? You know, I either way, it sucks for the Americans. And listen, this storm was so big. People are comparing it to Katrina. Listen, I think this is going to be far worse than Katrina in the end. I'm sad to say, and Katrina was a disaster, no doubt about it. But I think this is going to be far worse. And I really believe the only reason that narrative exists is because a lot of blacks and minorities were involved in Katrina, and it was a horrible situation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not minimizing it, but I think the Democrats need that narrative to continue. This is going to be far worse, in my opinion. You've got neighbors, you've got people popping up in videos saying, I heard one lady say today, I don't know where my neighbors are. Their area was wiped clean. I don't know where my neighbors are. I don't know where my friends are. I wonder if there's some people on the left out there that are sitting here and watching the aftermath, or perhaps ignoring the aftermath, maybe in some of these elite media institutions, and saying, well, they got what they deserve. These are the white people, they're basically colonialists, they're basically racist, they're xenophobes, they're homophobes, they're just getting what they deserve. I really believe, people, this is the frustrating thing, even with some within the conservative movement. We don't want to believe that people can be evil. It's one of the reasons why I don't like when people, I don't care if they're conservatives or Democrats, I don't like when people call other people monsters. Whether they're rapists or serial killers or whatever they are. But Carl, they are monsters. No, they're not. They're human beings that are absolutely and utterly depraved and evil. And I really think that oftentimes what human beings will do, no matter what political aisle you fall on, or you stand with, you'll use that term monster because in your head, you want to believe that this is a rarity, that somebody like this is a rarity. I don't believe that. I believe that people are mostly evil. I know that's hard for some of you guys to hear, but that is the truth. You don't have to learn to be selfish when you're a baby. You have to be corrected. But if you're never corrected, and if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in a higher authority, then maybe you just roll with your own depraved mind. And who knows how far that depraved mind will go. I do believe that the Biden-Harris administration are completely incompetent. I don't think they knew what to do. I don't think they knew how bad this was. But I also believe that many people within that administration, including Biden and Harris, are so evil that they might say, wait a minute. These people vote mostly Republican. It's not that I want them to die. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that evil. But if they miss out on voting and it helps us a little bit, they'll be okay. I'm just wondering. The response has been so abysmal. It is. I can't even find a word to describe it. It's either, I suspect, complete and utter incompetence or complete and utter evil. I'm not sure there's a gray area. Listen to FEMA's goals. As you continue to marinate on the fact that FEMA has run out of money, Mayorkas is asking for money when he said FEMA would be prepared, because the Biden-Kamala Harris administration has been using your money to fund services for illegal aliens that they've brought into the country. But now when you have states like Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, the Carolinas impacted, I believe there's another, forgive me. No money. Plenty of money for wars, plenty of money for illegal aliens and their services and housing illegal aliens that they're bringing into the country by millions. Why? Why? Is it because these illegal aliens they're willing to give their homies more They're homie, Carl. What do you mean are they willing to give the people that they suspect will vote for them more, but the people that actually paid the freaking bill less? This is unbelievable. Listen to FEMA's goals. The goals of FEMA. the goals of FEMA. A government organization that is meant for disaster relief, right? You want to know what their goals are? What FEMA's goals are? Let me find this. The Federal Emergency Management Agency. Federal Emergency Management Agency. Tell me if you believe you would have ever thought that the goals of the Federal Emergency Management Agency would be instilling, quote, equity as a foundation of emergency management. Okay, so that's one goal. The second goal, leading whole of community in climate resilience. Federal Emergency Management Agency. I'm not sure. Here's another thing. FEMA allocated nearly 306. This is where the money went. I'm reading from the Federalist. FEMA allocated nearly $364 million in 2023, another $650 million for the 2024 fiscal year, for the Shelter and Services Program, quote unquote, to provide humanitarian services to non-citizen migrants. That's code for illegal aliens. All right. Following their release from the Department of Homeland Security. This according to the government's own website. So you can click on the link. You can go to the government's own website. All of the information is there. The program is run in cooperation with the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol to support CBP and the safe, orderly, and humane release of non-citizen migrants from short-term holding facilities. So for those of you that are suffering like crazy, you're wondering where FEMA is. Oh, FEMA is doing their new job. FEMA has a new vision. It's just not you. It's not people that are in disaster-torn territories anymore. Now the goals are instilling equity as a foundation of emergency management. And if it is FEMA's goal, let me ask you, if it is FEMA's goal, I think this is an indictment. Frankly, I don't think this is a vision. I think this is an indictment. If this is FEMA's goal to instill equity as a foundation of emergency management, what is equity? What is equity? It's not equality. Could it be that during disaster reliefs like this, FEMA would use the opportunity, especially in your predominantly white areas? I mean, kill the whitey, right? Take their money and give it to the people with darker skin coming into the country illegally. Is it okay to talk like that? Because I think we all know that's the truth. I don't know. And I'm not saying that everybody associated with the Biden-Harris administration believes this, but I got some questions. But I am starting to wonder. Leading the whole of community in climate resilience. Isn't it amazing when you think about it? The left always talks about, it's man-made global warming, it's man-made climate change, whatever, whatever the new term of the day is. But it would seem that if they've been using so much money to fight climate change for decades now, shouldn't it have an impact? Yeah, it's never going to, because we all know what the truth is, and frankly, I believe they do as well. You know what disasters normally do too? Disasters normally unite Americans. You think about that. Disasters normally unite Americans. I think, Gabe, you said that briefly in my ear. Maybe it was Betsy that said it, but I believe one of you said it, and I'm like, man, it's so true. I can recall. I live in Florida. I've been through plenty of hurricanes at this point in time, myself and my family. And you know what the craziest thing is? You go through the storm, trees down. I remember Hurricane Charlie. And do you remember all those storms that hit? One